Chosen one. Before you skip this message, listen with your heart, because what you're about to hear may explain why your life has felt so different from everyone else's. There were seasons when you wondered why your gifts remained unnoticed. You watched people with less wisdom receive recognition. You watched others move ahead while you stayed in the background. You prayed, you waited, you stayed faithful, yet nothing seemed to change. Quietly, you asked, God, why am I still hidden? If you've ever asked that question. Today, God answers, because what I hide, I protect, and what I protect, I reveal at the perfect time. Chosen one. The world celebrates instant success, but heaven prepares lasting purpose. God has never been in a hurry. Every great work in Scripture was first developed in secret. Before David stood before a nation, he stood alone in the fields caring for sheep. Before Moses led Israel, he spent years in the wilderness where no one knew his name. Before Joseph ruled Egypt, he endured the silence of prison. Before Jesus began his public ministry, he lived many hidden years in obedience. Do you see the pattern? God often hides the people he intends to use the most, not because they are forgotten, but because they are being prepared. Chosen one. The enemy convinced you that hidden meant rejected. He whispered, if God really chose you, people would already notice you. But heaven says human recognition is not proof of divine favor. Many people become famous, yet never fulfill God's purpose. Others remain unnoticed for years, then suddenly step into the assignment heaven prepared long ago. God is far more concerned with your character than your popularity, because character can carry blessings that popularity cannot. Chosen one. Have you ever noticed how painful waiting can become? At first, you wait with excitement, then with hope, then with questions. Finally, you wait in silence. You stop telling people what you're believing for because you're tired of explaining why it hasn't happened yet. Some even begin to think you've given up, but they don't know what God is doing behind the scenes. While you're waiting, He is aligning people, opening doors, removing obstacles, preparing opportunities, strengthening your heart. Everything is happening, even if you cannot yet see it. Chosen one, God says, your hidden season is not punishment, it is preparation. A seed is hidden before it becomes a tree. Gold is refined before it shines. An arrow is pulled backward before it moves forward. Likewise, sometimes God allows your life to feel as though it's moving backward, not because you're failing, but because He's positioning you for greater impact. Chosen one. There were moments when people laughed at your dreams. Some smiled politely while secretly doubting you. Others openly questioned your faith. Some even told you, be realistic. Stop expecting so much. Maybe it just isn't meant to happen. Those words hurt, not because they defined your future, but because they challenged your faith. Yet God says, never let someone's limited vision define the future I have already planned for you. People can only judge what they see. God works with what they cannot see. Chosen one. The greatest battles you fought were never visible. No one saw the prayers you prayed through tears. No one saw the nights when fear tried to convince you to quit. No one saw how many times you almost gave up. But God saw every moment. He counted every tear. He heard every whispered prayer. And He says, your faithfulness in secret has never gone unnoticed. Chosen one. Sometimes God keeps you hidden because premature exposure can destroy what He is building. Imagine harvesting fruit before it's ripe. It looks ready, but it isn't. In the same way, some blessings delayed are actually blessings protected. Had God elevated you years ago, the pressure might have overwhelmed you. The attention might have distracted you. The responsibility might have crushed you. So, He waited. Not because He forgot you, because He loves you enough to prepare you first. Chosen one. The silence you're experiencing today will make tomorrow's testimony even more powerful, because when God finally reveals what He has been preparing, no one will be able to explain it through luck. No one will say they just happened to be in the right place. Instead, they'll have to admit, only God could have done this. Your hidden season is almost complete. Heaven has not forgotten your name. The God who planted the vision inside your heart is also preparing the moment the world will finally see what he has been building all along. Chosen one, if you're still listening, then perhaps God has been preparing your heart for this very moment. Because heaven says, the season of being overlooked is coming to an end. The season of divine revelation is about to begin. For years, you watched others receive opportunities that you prayed for. You celebrated their victories. You applauded their success. But deep inside, you quietly wondered, Lord, when will it be my turn? God says, your turn was never canceled. It was carefully scheduled. The delay was not a denial. It was divine timing. Chosen one of the greatest mistakes we make, is assuming that because nothing is happening around us, nothing is happening at all. But think about a seed. After it is planted, everything important happens underground. No applause, no recognition, no visible progress. Yet beneath the surface, life is forming, roots are growing, strength is developing. The future is quietly taking shape. God says, that is exactly what I have been doing in your life. People judged your silence. I was building your strength. People assumed you were forgotten. I was preparing your assignment. People laughed because they couldn't see growth. But heaven never measures progress by appearances. Chosen one. Have you ever noticed how different you are today? The things that once made you anxious now push you to pray. The rejection that once broke your heart now strengthens your faith. The loneliness that once felt unbearable now brings you closer to God. That's because your hidden season has been changing you, not just your circumstances, but your character. And character is what carries lasting blessings. Chosen one, God says, I refuse to reveal you before you were ready to remain humble. Success without humility becomes pride. Influence without wisdom becomes dangerous. Favor without maturity becomes difficult to sustain. So, I waited. Not because I wanted to delay your joy, but because I wanted to protect your future. One day, you'll thank God for every season that felt slow. Because you'll realize, those years were never empty. They were essential. Chosen one, the enemy tried to convince you that your hidden season meant your purpose had expired. He whispered, if God was really with you, your life would already look different. But today, God silences that lie. He says, I have never measured your calling by your current circumstances. Remember Noah. Years passed before the rain came. Remember Abraham. Decades passed before the promise arrived. Remember Joseph. His dream survived every pit and every prison. Time never cancels what God has spoken. If anything, time only proves his faithfulness. Chosen one. Stop apologizing because your journey looks different. Different does not mean wrong. Sometimes the longest road leads to the greatest destination. Sometimes the hardest season produces the strongest testimony. Sometimes the quietest years prepare the loudest miracles. And your miracle is closer than you think. Chosen one. God says, the people who underestimated you were only looking at your present. I have always been looking at your future. They saw your weakness. I saw your calling. They saw delay. I saw preparation. They saw an ordinary person. I saw someone I had set apart long before they knew your name. Never allow people with limited vision to define the destiny created by an unlimited God. Chosen one. Very soon, you'll notice unexpected changes. The opportunities you've been praying for will begin appearing. The peace you've been seeking will settle into your heart. The right people will enter your life. The right doors will begin opening, not because you forced them, but because heaven's timing has arrived. God's favor doesn't require human permission. When he opens a door, no one can keep it shut. When he speaks your name, no one can silence your calling. When he decides it's your season, No person can delay what he has already ordained. Chosen one. The greatest surprise will not simply be your breakthrough. It will be the transformation that happened while you were waiting. You have become stronger, more patient, more discerning, more compassionate, more dependent on God than ever before, and that version of you is ready for the next chapter. Chosen one. Don't quit one step before the miracle. Don't lose faith just because you cannot yet see movement. Don't mistake silence for absence. God has been working every single day. Every prayer you prayed, every tear you cried, every act of obedience has been preparing the moment that is now approaching. The people who laughed while you were hidden will soon witness something they never expected. Not because you fought your way to the top. Everything was being woven together by the hands of a faithful God. Chosen one. As this message comes to an end, carry this truth in your heart every single day. The people who laughed at your hidden season were judging a story that God hadn't finished writing. They only saw the silence. God saw the masterpiece. They saw delay. God saw perfect timing. They saw an ordinary person. God saw someone he had chosen long before the foundation of the world. So lift your head, walk forward in faith, keep praying, keep trusting, keep obeying, because the God who kept you hidden is the same God who is about to reveal you, and when he does, no one will be able to deny that it was his hand at work. Chosen one. They laughed when you were hidden, but they will stand in awe when God reveals the purpose, favor, and destiny he has been preparing for you all along. Your hidden season is ending. Your season of divine revelation has begun.